why you got to keep paying attention. I know you're carrying an awful lot of water because it doesn't seem like anybody in the media is carrying it. I mean, thank God for this network. Thank God for talk radio, but nobody seems to be really carrying a lot of water in the media. But I know the American people are. Now, there are 8 Republicans who voted for cap and trade. Kevin Mooney is from the Washington Examiner, and Nancy Thorner is a voter from Mark Kirk's district. We're going to get into that. She's very angry that he voted for cap and trade. But first, let me go to Kevin. Look at this map that we put up. Can we put this map up? It looks like all of these votes. Where's the map? There it is. Looks like all of these votes, and we're going to have some showers. And all of the votes really came, half of the votes, more than half, from those areas, the West Coast and from the liberal Northeast.
Well, Glenn, you put your finger on it. The votes, whether they're Democrat or Republican, in favor of this bill out of the coastal areas, the elite areas of the country, they're areas of the country where energy prices are already high. Democrats and Republicans voted against this bill in other parts of the country where they already are using fossil fuels and have lower energy prices.
Isn't it interesting that those are the areas that are collapsing the fastest as well?
Why? Because they turned themselves into the European Union. That's why they're collapsing.
Right. Okay, Nancy, let me go to you. You are really actually very upset at Mark Kirk, your congressman. Why?
Oh, thank you very much, Glenn, for having me on your show. It's a pleasure. I am angry because, of course, he was one of only 8 congressmen in the entire United States who voted for the cap and trade bill. And I know his phone lines had been burning up for the last week before he voted, telling him not to vote for the bill. And I have knowledge of many, many people who called Mark Kirk and implored him not to vote for the bill. And we were astonished when he did this past Friday.
I mean, I'm not. There are people. I mean, again, here's Mark Kirk. He's from Illinois, right? I mean, here's the hand of the land of Barack Obama and political cronyism in Illinois.
And he has ambitions to run for either Senate or governor. He has ambitions beyond his congressional seat. He should be called out for this vote. You cannot call yourself an advocate of the free market and vote for this bill.
These are the people. These are the people, by the way, at the bottom. These are all the Republicans that voted for this thing. I mean, if you have Kevin, if you have a Republican that is voting for this kind of government, what is the point? I mean, people will say, oh, well, the other guy is worse. Really? You voted for cap and trade. How could they possibly be worse?
What's very disturbing is one of the Republicans who voted for the bill from New Jersey mentioned the regional greenhouse gas initiative as a model for what should be used going forward. This fellow wants to impose a de facto Kyoto regime on the state level. So this is really just the beginning.
What else is, because it's not just the Republicans that have done this. The Democrats, I mean, this little game where your Democrat didn't vote for it, a lot of these Democrats didn't vote for it because they knew they'd be in trouble with their voters, and so Nancy Pelosi struck a deal with them. Look, unless we need your vote, you can vote no, correct?
Well, that was true in some cases, but I think in other cases, too, there was some genuine conviction involved with Democrats who voted against this bill, which is why it was so shameful to have these 8 traitors.
I have to tell you that America, they really think in Washington that you're an idiot, that you're just going to forget, and it's just that times haven't changed. Nancy, have times changed? You've been, I'm sure, betrayed. Felt like, oh my gosh, my congressman's not even listening to me. Are you going to remember this in 2 years?
Oh, definitely so, Glenn. Mark Kirk is going to be, I'm sure, challenged in the next election. Already I'm hearing many people say that this cannot stand and that he cannot get away with it only because he was a renegade Republican. He chose to do something which we all didn't want him to do, and they will not forget him.
Yeah.
This has been said over and over again, Glenn.
Kevin, I wonder, it's like the Michael Jackson thing. I think we as a people have changed in the last year. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own listeners, because I was talking about this stuff, 2 years ago, and my own listeners, conservatives, were like, pipe down. Now they're seeing it all start to happen, and America has changed. Americans have changed. Not all of them, but there's a good number of people, and I don't know if Congress even yet gets it, that they can't play games like they used to. There is a part of America that has been asleep for a very long time. that's no longer sleeping. Would you agree?
Well, I agree, and I think the fact that this vote coming up to July 4th is very appropriate, because I see it as an assault on American independence and American sovereignty. It's about subjecting the United States to European-style regulations.
Yeah, we're in. We find ourselves in 1776 again, I think. Kevin, Nancy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Back in just a second.